I was just dreaming about a school fight that took place in 1994. I'll tell you about it in a bit. Today we're talking about school fights and school violence in Trinidad and Tobago. In 2022, when physical school reopened, the police and the Ministry of Education quickly realized that the problem with school violence was bigger than the space between the Minister of Education's front teeth. Within days, the police received reports of 4 school fights. I started secondary school way back in 1994, and other than smoking and reading educational magazines like Playboy and Penthouse, school fights was the most exciting thing about school.
We certainly didn't have 4 fights a week. We had at least 2 or 3 good ones for the term.
I was in Form 1 when I saw my first fight. It was like the whole school came alive. You had students running from all corners of the school to form a circle around 2 girls who were fighting. Serious thing. I tell you, don't talk to my man. He's my man. I'm not making this up. I was there. One of the girls who was fighting was a girl who had hit me a slap my first week in school. A big red girl from Marima. She had a head shaped like a orchard pack. And back then I remember thinking, I wish I had something to record this fight. But they hadn't invented smartphones as yet. And as the fight got worse and clothes started tearing and the cheering got louder, I remember thinking,
I wonder if I'm going to see a breast today, boy.
Let's fast forward to 2022. In June, a female student stabbed and slashed another female student across her face. In May, a parent beat a schoolboy. In Tobago, a student threatened to shoot up a school. In March, a schoolboy in Tobago chopped another schoolboy around 10:30 in the morning. They had a dispute, and after the incident, school closed for the day. Which tells me one thing. If you want school to over early, a school fight more efficient than a bomb scare. Now, I'm not here to deal with underlying issues like parenting, drugs in school, bullying, and how much porn your son is be watching home and coming in school and choking my daughter. I'm here to deal with solutions. Woosa. So it's 2022. The TTPS now deals with instances of school violence, not the principal. This is an announcement issued by the Ministry of Education in April 2022. The Ministry of Education has also requested increased patrols at 15 schools because suspension isn't working, and officials are also working on a demerit or merit system for acceptable and unacceptable behaviors in school, where I guess the maximum penalty will probably be expulsion for school violence. I remember when GP beat Brigo after school. This is back in 96. It was a planned fight. Everybody knew about it. After school, outside the school compound, in front of the house where the people used to sell roti there. I was there. I was in the front row. And everybody behind me was like, move your big head now, boy. We can't see. Move your big head now, boy. GP beat Brigo until they couldn't recognize Brigo. And next day, GP come to school normal. And Brigo left school and became a Calypsonian. So whether it's 1994, 2022 or 2050, school violence and school fights is a global problem and it's here to stay. Bringing back licks isn't going to work. It didn't work in my day. There's nothing teachers could do. There's nothing the Ministry of Education can do. There's nothing the TTPS can do. Listen, expelling and jailing students, they're not going to work. If you did that back in my day, schools like Five Rivers and El Dorado would have no students. The only difference between then and now is that students have access to fight!
Yeah, boy!
Coffee in your head. I wonder if I'm going to see a breast today, boy. Ask yourself this question. What would Colum Imbert do if he was the Minister of Education? He'd find a way to tax these fights, which brings us to the solution. What the Ministry of Education needs to do is to find a way to make money off of these fights. Think about it. As it is, people share these videos for free on WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, and they rake up thousands to millions of views. The winners and losers get absolutely nothing. Maybe a cuff, a kick, a gash on their face. So yeah, monetize these fights. Stream them live. It'll be like wrestling or death race. There'll be a referee. There'll be a boxing ring as big as the space in the Minister of Education's front teeth. No knives. Students would have access to weapons like tables, chair legs, geometry sets. You could have tag team matches, Form 5 versus Form 1, revenge matches with parents versus students. With money and young boys involved, the Catholic schools will soon get involved. The prestige schools will follow. Everybody could be happy, including the Minister of Finance. He could have one more thing to tax. And this is a true story. Back in my day, I had no idea what a geometry set did. As I mentioned, I failed mathematics a number of times. I didn't even know what a compass was called. I only found out recently. My wife told me. So yeah, back in school when a man asked you for a compass, a fight was going to take place. In fact, he didn't even ask you for a compass. He'd be like, hey, pass that thing for me there. I'd be like, what's that? The thing now, boy, the thing in the pan. What are you talking about, boy? The thing it is used to stab people, boy.